Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. Give me what I want, or I'm going to continue to hurt people you love. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. You just don't want to give it to me. Give it to me. Give me what I want.
We're going to give you what you want.
That's not what I want.
Good evening, everybody. What's up? AEW here in order, presenting you my latest SmackDown channel for your sports and wrestling contact. What did I say? Contact? Okay. AEW here in order, presenting you my wrestling and sports channel, latest SmackDown for wrestling and sports. For all your wrestling and sports related news, topics, streams, whatever. If you're new here, subscribe. Please smash that like button down below too. Please. Also share this out with your friends, buddies, and everything. There's a lot of talk about, man, AEW stuff. This is not if you watched the channel before and you listen to my wrestling content. This is not It's All About Wrestling weekly show. This is not that. This is just gonna be something on AEW and CM Punk and the stuff is happening backstage right now. It's a talk of wrestling once again. CM Punk is the talk of the wrestling universe once again. And we're going to talk about that. Okay? Okay? And this is AEW stuff too. It's not just Punk, AEW and Tony Khan. I'm calling out the owner, Tony Khan. I'm going to call, he needs to grow a set, man. He needs to be, a man and not hide. Okay? He needs to step up. That's what I'm saying. With Tony Khan. And I'm going to talk about. Any people, you're free to come on to talk. You know what? Okay? You're all free to come on. My link is right there. Go ahead. Come on. If you want. Okay. Now, there's things that come up today about CM Punk that might have seen blown out of proportion. Okay? So, CM Punk at the end of Collision, right? End of Collision. Created a stir. Now, this was not live on TV. Collision ended. This was not live on TV, but this was taped by people at the event after the show. As you know, every time there's a wrestling show, okay, when the show's over, they always have the wrestlers at the end of the show, they pick a wrestler, whatever, at the end of the show, thank the crowd for coming out. They cut a promo on the crowd, thank the crowd for coming out, and stuff like that. Every show does it. They done it for. I've been to live events with WWE. They do it. They do it all the time. AEW, they do it all the time. It's very normal in wrestling for when the show's over, it's not live anymore. It's very normal for the wrestlers to thank the crowd for coming for that night. Usually face wrestlers. Baby face wrestlers do it because they want their crowd to go home happy. Okay. So CM Punk, after losing with FTR in a trios match, as you remember, they lost a trios match to the House of Black because Samoa Joe got involved and kind of choked out CM Punk, right? Now, as you remember, right? The show went off the air. CM Punk managed to grab the mic at FTR, talk to the crowd. He mentioned up Hangman Page, Adam Hangman Page, okay? And as you know, last year, around a little bit over a year, Hangman Page saw something in this promo that when him and Punk were leading up to a match at a Double or Nothing in 2022, there was something Hangman said about Punk that Punk didn't really like, and he brought it up a couple months later in a shoot promo live on TV that had nothing to do with what the plans were. He just went off the script and in for himself to call Hangman Page, even though that was not the plans at the time. Okay. And as you know, after in last year 2022, at the end, CM Punk and had a fight with basically the Elite, right? That involved the Omega and the Young Bucks. And yeah, and stuff came out of that. Punk was basically suspended. The Elite were suspended for about a month. Punk was suspended until pretty much suspended for a very, very long time. Very, very long time. Till June. They announced June 17th will be his return, right? For the first Collision show, the debut of AEW Collision on Saturday in Chicago, and after CM Punk comes back. So he comes back. Now, there's been some precautions, some things that AEW has done, Tony Khan's done backstage, leading up to Punk's return, okay? Collision was specifically meant for CM Punk, where he would not be on the same show as the Elite, Hangman Page, Young Bucks, and Omega specifically, right? They're basically the Elite right now. And so, yeah, that's the point, okay? That was the point. Basically, Collision would be Punk show, and Dynamite would be the Elite show. Be on two separate brands, so stuff, they keep away from each other. Instead of, burying the hatchet there, okay? Instead of burying the hatchet between Punk and the Elite, they decided to keep them apart, which really, it's kind of it's more avoiding the problem than solving the problem. You don't have to like each other, but you got to do what's best for the company, and now what's best for you guys. And the Elite are EVP, so that they're executive whatever producers. Okay, so they have power. But CM Punk has power too, man. If you really think about it, he has kind of power too. He doesn't have a position of power, but he has a lot of influence. Okay? And a lot of influence. It seems like a lot of his influence has been used since the Collision came debuted on TNT in middle of June. All right. Okay. Where's my phone? I gotta get my phone here. I don't know what I do with my phone. Be right back, guys. Okay, I got my phone here. Sorry. Okay. So yes. Okay, so yeah, so apparently, and that promo we cut on Saturday, Collision, after the show was off TV, cutting the crowd, he basically went and said, I still see Hangman Page's action. I went to the store today. I'm paraphrasing. I still see Adam Hangman Page action figures on stock, but mine are all gone. Basically saying, Hangman Page doesn't sell. His action figures don't sell. and that his does. And apparently, that people took it as a shot at Hangman Page because they don't have a good relationship with each other. Okay. Hangman Page was, and I think, no, what I know it's fact because I just read it today. Hangman Page resides in where Collision was. Collision was in Greensboro, Carolina, and Hangman Page resides there. And original report is that there was an original report that saying Hangman Page was coming to Collision to film a vignette, but that's not the case though. He went. It was a different location where he was going to film a vignette for Dynamite. So the report that CM Punk is the reason why Hangman Page did not film the vignette at the arena where Collision was held is not true at all. It's not true at all. It's been reported today. It's not true at all. Not true at all. Okay? That's not true at all. So, that's not true, okay? Hi, Anthony. There's also been reports that Christopher Daniels and Matt Hardy were not allowed in the arena because they're closely friends with the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks and Punk apparently have not communicated with each other for a really long time. They don't even the Young Bucks want nothing to do with CM Punk. Apparently, they don't even want to talk to him, and Punk didn't want them at the arena. Like Punk has a kind of power. Like at the pay-per-view I was in June 25th, Forbidden Door, right? The AEW pay-per-view. I was there in Toronto. As you saw, there's some videos and some shorts about it, right? You can look on my channel. So, as you know, I said Collision is basically the Punk show and Dynamite is the Elite show, right? To separate the two, right? So hopefully nothing happens between two if they're in the same arena now, in the same dressing room, whatever, they get into a fight. So, but Forbidden Door, the Elite and Punk were at Scotiabank Arena, right, for Forbidden Door in Toronto. But the AEW made sure that their locker rooms were not anywhere close to each other. The AEW, the management behind the scenes, made sure. I would say specifically, Tony Khan made sure that they did not run into each other. They're not running each other because maybe they're afraid something's going to happen. Now, when I look at that as cowardly because now if it gets solved that way, okay. Look. WWE has wrestlers that don't like each other, that really, really don't like each other. Has been going for a really long time, okay. Back in 2021, there was a fight between Charlotte and Becky Lynch. They did not separate the two. Okay. At the time, with lockers and all of that, they did not separate the two. One went to Raw, went to SmackDown. Okay, they did to get drafted brand, but it happens to WWE. But WWE tends to do a better job, besides the Vince McMahon stuff, to keep this backstage stuff quiet, right? Because WWE tends to, when there's problems backstage, WWE is quickly on the issues, usually. Quickly on the issues. They're quick on it. They're quickly on the issues. What's going on backstage, okay? Between talent. AEW is not, really. It's been going on for about a year. Not just CM Punk stuff, but other things. Been going on for a year, okay? And CM Punk, if you know CM Punk, he's not afraid to say what is on his mind, what he feels. Okay? Whatever he feels, he's not afraid to say it. Whether you like it or not. You have to take it or leave it with CM Punk, what he says, right? You either like him or you hate him. And he's always gonna be honest with how he feels, right? Sometimes when you're honest, when you're being honest, sometimes it's not like you don't like. Sometimes people don't like it when people are honest or say how they feel. And Punk is like that, but Punk comes off like a bitter, angry person. Okay, and I feel like it's been. I know he had a tough upbringing growing up. He really did have a tough life growing up. I know that, and that's why he led his family history. That's why he lives a straight edge style of no drinking, no drugs, being sober, stuff like that. But and I'm not here to bash on straight edge lifestyle people. I'm not here like this. I'm not doing this in general to criticize anybody who lives straight edge. I think that's good. If you're not doing drugs, you're not drinking, good. You're being healthy, you're being safe. But I feel like a punk, he uses that as to say that he's better than someone, to feel like he's better than you, to feel like it's more important than you. He uses that straight up lifestyle thing to say he's more better than you, they're more important than you, which I find disrespectful. Yeah, true. But this was the same guy. This was the same guy who thanked Zaslav in a promo. I don't know how long ago it was. He did thank Zaslav in a promo, maybe like a month. I don't know how long ago though. He did thank Zaslav though, and true. But I bet you the people at TNT did not like it. So I tell you that. I don't think TNT liked it. They won't do anything, but they did not like it. Okay. But I feel like Punk uses the straight edge lifestyle thing to think he's better than everybody. Now I'm not saying that for all straight edge. I'm just saying specifically for Punk. He sounds like bitter and angry, tough. I mean, of course, he's got like a beautiful wife and AJ Lee. But I feel like everything since he left WWE that he's tried to be a success in hasn't really gone to plan for him. Okay, he tried to be an MMA fighter, right? He tried to do mixed martial arts, and he, not embarrassing that was, tried a broadcasting career. He was a Walking Dead a couple times, on a Chris Hardwick Talking Dead show a couple times, but he tried all these professions in between a 7-8 year hiatus that did not work out for him. Okay, he wasn't heels, obviously. He wasn't heels with CFML season 1 and season 2. He's in it, but he hasn't really done like any acting out of besides that, or things I have seen him in. That I know he's written some comic books. He's a huge comic book fan. I know that, but I haven't really seen him done any other acting roles besides him being in heels. Okay, I haven't really seen anything of that on that. No, I was a big CM Punk fan back in the day. I really like CM Punk. I like how he spoke his mind, all that. And he spoke against John Cena and WWE, but he has no problems. He never had issues with John Cena, though. He had never had problems with John Cena. Never. He had problems with people not liking him in WWE, like Triple H. Triple H didn't see what's so special about this guy, and I think Vince really did. But Vince pushed him to the moon because he was so popular back in 2011, the summer of Punk. He pushed him to the moon, but he tried everything to sabotage Punk. I felt like in 2012, and he was so popular. He was so popular in 2011, 2012 that he was frustrated. He was really frustrated with WrestleMania that year because he felt like the title should be the main event instead of Rock versus Cena, okay, in 2012. But he felt like the world champion should be the main event. The world title match should be the main event. Oh, definitely Rollins. Shinsuke ain't winning. Rollins. And but I know here's the problem though. Like I understand CM Punk, and most of the time WrestleMania is the title match should be the main event. But this is Rock and Cena, man. Rock and Cena. That's bigger than the title. In wrestling, And he's big in wrestling, Punk. But in wrestling, there's matches that's bigger than title match, the main title match. And this is one of them. That was one of the biggest complaints about 2002 WrestleMania in Toronto, my hometown. Rock and Hogan was the biggest match on the card. Okay, Rock and Hogan. The most talked about, arguably one of the top talked about WrestleMania match because you have Rock and Hulk Hogan. Icons of wrestling, right? Icons of wrestling. And icons. Well, Rock is also an icon in Hollywood or whatever. He's big in Hollywood. Hogan, a little bit for a while. His movies weren't particularly good, but whatever. But you understand how big Rock and Hogan are to the world of wrestling. And that WrestleMania, that was not the main event. The main event was Triple H versus Chris Jericho for the undisputed titles. They even said, Jericho and even Triple H said that Rock and Hogan should have been the main event of that. There's just some matchups that's bigger than the title in wrestling. Okay? The title is just a prop now, man. It's just a prop. And I hope Degrassi's here listening to me. Hey, I know Anthony's here. Hey, Degrassi, if you're listening. Okay? But I feel like Punk, I don't think he's selfish, but he could be selfish. Okay? Okay? But the story's coming out today, like, that maybe this whole thing with Hangman Page from the Go Home Show promo to the crowd after Collision was off TV, off air. Maybe it sounds like that was blown up proportion because apparently Punk just made it as a joke and a bad joke. He admitted it was a bad joke and apparently he texted Hangman Page to apologize. Now, I don't know what Hangman Page has said. Nothing has said anything about Hangman Page. If he responded or not, I don't know if we're ever going to find out. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll say something. I don't know. But this is Punk for you. He's not afraid to say stuff, and he will go off shoot sometimes because he's really good on the mic, and he'll go off mic. He'll go off script, as they say in wrestling. Off script. Okay? I mean, they do it in the entertainment world all the time, off script. But in wrestling, in AEW, in WWE, right? Especially AEW, there's a little bit more creative freedom, what you could say. But usually you have to get to go. You okay? Yeah, he's very good on mic. He usually has to get to go and okay. And I'm pretty sure this is in TV and movies too, with the director and the writers that, yeah, this, what you could say here is what you want to change here and say this. Yeah, we'll give you permission. So in wrestling, you have to get permission. You have to get permission to say this. And if you're gonna go offshoot on someone, or say a joke about someone, maybe go to that wrestler if they're live, whatever, backstage, and maybe ask if this is okay to say this. Okay, because sometimes when you go off script, saying something about a wrestler in a negative, that wrestler backstage may not like it. Okay. And I know Punk is one of those people, when people go after him, Punk is very, very sensitive and he whines about it. He's one of those people too. So he's almost like the guy who dishes out but can't take it at times. Okay? And he's the reason this guy named Brian Nesmith has not appeared at apparently Collision for a while. Brian Nesmith has not been on TV. He's employed at AEW. He's usually on these the Elite's YouTube channel. The Elite have their own YouTube channel. He usually does his segments on the YouTube channel. A lot of his segments, except this week, a lot of his segments they show the actor strike on the Elite's YouTube channel because his girlfriend, this guy Brian Nesmith, he is the brother of Dolph Ziggler, by the way, who's in WWE. WWE, and he was shown on the BTE episode this week. But this guy, Ryan A. Smith, his girlfriend is an actress. Okay. This show was bad, terrible. It got canceled one season in. The show got canceled one season. But his girlfriend was an actress on the show, and here's the show. It's just gonna blow your minds out, and you're gonna say it's shit because it was bad. The show was Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights, yes. His girlfriend was on Gotham Knights, and she supported the strike through her. Oh, by the way, his brother Dolph Ziggler dated Amy Schumer. You know that, right? Amy Schumer dated a wrestler, and that was Dolph Ziggler. Okay, and now he pretty wasn't. So yeah, and I don't know what's going on there. It seems like Punk is friends with FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dex Wilder, right? Or Dex Harwood. And they have no problems with the Bucks. They have no problem with the Elites. Okay? No. If Punk and the Elite or Omega or Hangman Page are willing to make amends just to throw water under the bridge, you don't have to be friends, but they're willing to work together to make money, to make magic, why not? Some of the best storylines in wrestling are done by wrestlers that don't like each other. Because they want to outdo each other in the ring. And Tony Khan, instead of trying to get this faction, the Elite and CM Punk, to like bury the hatchet to talk this out. And I know these two groups have to want to, right? But I think Tony Khan and maybe some leaders backstage in the dressing room, whether it's Jericho, Moxley, because Jericho comes from the era of when Undertaker was running things backstage, and when he saw things going on he did not like, he would be the leader and said, he would say, work this out before it gets worse. Work this out. So we need leaders, wrestlers in the backstage, leaders, veteran leaders, like Jericho, Moxley, Bryan Danielson, whoever, to maybe come to those two parties, CM Punk and the Elite, and say, I know you're not accepting each other's. I know you're not accepting each other's chance to bury the hatchet, but I'm going to force you guys to. I don't care. This is not good for the locker room. I'm going to force you guys to. We're going to force you to bury the hatchet. We're going to tell you don't have to be friends. You don't have to like each other, but goddamn, you got to respect. You got to bury the hatchet, respect this company, and move on. That's it. We can't have backstage. You cannot have backstage drama in an atmosphere, a very tense atmosphere, with some of your biggest superstars. Because if there's a tense atmosphere with the biggest superstars in your roster, how do you think the mid carders and the lower card wrestlers feel? Okay, how do you think they would feel? It's about putting a positive atmosphere, okay, in the dressing room. And Tony Khan has to be more responsible and stop acting like a fanboy, okay? Be the goddamn owner, okay? Be the goddamn owner. And stop catering to all these wrestlers, please. Vince McMahon is gets along with the wrestlers, but he doesn't cater to them. And I'm not defending Vince here. I think Vince is scum. Some of the stuff is coming out about him. It's very scummy, like, obviously, right? But come on, Tony Khan, you act so much like a fanboy. I know you're a fan. Obviously, you want to start a company, right? A fan would not start a wrestling company, okay? Let's be honest, okay? Only a fan would start a wrestling company, okay? And he is a businessman, but let's also be honest. I think he's too much of a fanboy. I think his fanboy is coming out more in interviews and stuff like that. Instead of him being a leader, an owner, a businessman, somebody has to enforce the rules, to enforce not punishments, but like what can I say? Just lay down the law, okay? And don't let the employees win inside. This is the same kind of shit that hurt WCW, okay? That really, really hurt WCW. WCW, there's a lot of things hurt WCW. Don't get me wrong. On the downfall of WCW, there's a lot of things that hurt that company, okay? A lot of things hurt WCW, okay? And one of the things that hurt WCW was Bischoff letting the boys run inside him. And what I mean by like Nash, Hall, Hogan, stuff like that. Okay? Now, I have no problem with wrestlers putting input and stuff like that, giving ideas, but to a point where they're controlling everything, okay? Or holding other wrestlers down, right? Or holding other wrestlers down. What I mean by like never let other wrestlers to reach a certain level because they're afraid they'll take their spots, stuff like that. You know, you can't really let the wrestlers run the asylum, right? Okay. Jericho should know this. He was at WCW. He knew how that ran, and when he went to WWE, his career massively took off. Okay, because he saw there was no higher ceiling. There was no higher ceiling he was going to go in WCW, as long as Nash, Hall, Hogan, Steiner, Sting, DDP, Ric Flair, Goldberg are all at the top, and want to keep the way up there. He saw no progression with his character. Okay, you can't have. Okay, he needs to grow. He just needs to grow a pair and be more. We gotta just see. He got to be more. More not influential, but more strict. Okay, more of a boss than as a fan. Okay, yes, I did say he's a fan, and as a fan, he won this wrestling company. Obviously, no fan, and only a fan would start up a wrestling company from scratch. Okay, only a fan would. Okay, like obviously, right? Only a fan would want to start a wrestling company. Like Freddie Prinze Jr. wants to start a wrestling company. I don't know if he has the money to do it. I know he certainly doesn't have the. Freddie Prinze Jr. certainly doesn't have Tony Khan's money. What I'm saying is, look, you just gotta be very careful with CM Punk. It ain't no CM Punk. You just gotta be very careful with CM Punk. I think this was a little bit of a misunderstanding. It got blew up proportion. But it sounds of things like he said he texted at Hangman Page to apologize of the bad joke. Maybe maybe that's just him trying to save face, double down. Maybe he meant it. But he's trying to pretend like, oh, I was just joking. I didn't mean it. There's people like that, right? There's people like that. They say they're joking, but in reality, they weren't joking. They really meant it. I don't know. Knowing CM Punk, I don't know. With knowing CM Punk, I don't know if he could take it as a joke or he was serious. I would say more on the latter, where it's more serious, because that's CM Punk is. He's never been known a guy to really joke, and when he's joking, it's when he says a joke, it's more of a sarcastic kind of joke. I do sometimes sarcastic jokes, but his jokes are kind of like like he jokes in a sarcastic way, where when you joke in a sarcastic way, it really means you mean it, right? When you joke sarcastically, that's not really a joke. Okay? So I don't know. It's how you perceive CM Punk. If you watch wrestling and you know how CM Punk, how he talks, how he says things, and the tone he uses, his stuff like that. So maybe it is a joke. I don't know, but The way CM Punk is, and maybe one of those jokes where it's based off sarcasm. Okay? I don't know. But I don't know, man. It's like hope maybe we'll see. Because there's always going to be a ticking time bomb, CM Punk, right? Again and again, right? There's always going to be everybody's going to wait till the next time CM Punk says something stupid. Till the next time there's a potential issues going on with CM Punk. He says something on live on TV, says something on Twitter, Instagram. There's all people are gonna be on the lookout for that. We fans are on the lookout for that, right? We're on the lookout for that because CM Punk has fans, but he also has a lot of haters. And the crowds at the arena, the events are very mixed. Sometimes more boos and cheers, but they're very mixed. Okay. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm gonna end it here, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Do all that, please. Take care, guys.